I'm going to introduce our three speakers that we have today. I'm going to start with the first person that's going to be speaking. That's Sarah Ingram. Sarah is a practicing speech-language pathologist at Prisma Health Home Health and Total Rehab. She's a certified dementia practitioner. She also has a bachelor's degree in vocal music education from UK, University of Kentucky, but that's okay, we won't get mad about that. Her blood runs orange, not blue. Number two is Stacy Homeyer. Stacy is our director of the Everett Senior Center. She organizes all the programming and activities for our adults over 50 in Blount County. And these include numerous mind-enriching opportunities to participate in music, art, and dance. And last, but definitely not least, is Mr. Edward Harper, better known as Ed. He is a licensed clinical social worker that is currently retired. His field is in counseling and community outreach and behavioral health. He's been doing that since 1975, and for 25 years his focus was on consulting services to caregivers and older adults. As a member of the band Pistol Creek Catch of the Day, he can be frequently spotted at the Senior Center as well as throughout our community. Well, today, we are going to talk about how we can stay active as we get older and how important that is. And everyone knows that getting a heartbeat faster can help you do everyday tasks and keep your memory sharp. I don't know if you know that, but it is. It's a proven fact. It's evidence-based. Building your muscle strength. At our office, we have a balance and muscle program, muscle enrichment program that's called SAIL, Staying Active and Independent for Life. It's a free balance and strength training program in our community, and we're getting ready to open up additional classes here in the community. Another way to stay active as an older adult is to work on your balance. And the balance is probably, as we age, the most important. It prevents falls, it lowers your risk for falls and risk for injury if you do fall. Without further ado, I'm going to ask Sarah to come up here and talk about a mix of these types of arts and activities in the senior community.
Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're excited to have you to talk about aging with the arts. So let's jump right in. We have lots of different artful options that we can consider. Of course, playing music, so any instrument that you might play, singing, being in a choir, singing along with the radio still counts. Playing handbells, and there's all sorts of community opportunities, such as community bands or community orchestra. There's dancing, so it does not just have to be in a group, it could be just dancing in your kitchen, right? So, but line dancing, square dancing. There's art, painting, coloring, sculpting, woodworking, writing. That is also an art. So creative writing, poetry, other types of writing. Music, specifically, since I have that background in music, I can speak mostly to its impact on the brain. So playing, listening, and singing, they impact areas all over the brain that handle emotion, motor movements, auditory and visual perception, as well as our memory. And if you are a brain nerd like I am, I even wrote down specific areas of the brain that are impacted by music and the arts. So areas like our auditory cortex, our basal ganglia, supplemental motor area, parietal cortex, prefrontal cortex, our amygdala, and our hippocampus. Also, areas such as the limbic system, which help with our emotional processing. So music and art impact all sorts of areas in our brain. Music is one of the longer lasting things. If you were to have a memory loss, Music is one of those things that sticks because it lights up so many different areas of the brain at once. So it is wonderful. Other areas of the arts too light up just as many areas. I encourage everybody to engage in a variety of different types of tasks so that we can light up as many areas of our brain as possible. Because it's true what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it.
I'm the director of the Blount County Senior Center. We're the only senior center in Maryville, Alcoa, and Blount County. We are part of Parks and Recreation, so I'll be speaking about some of the programs that Parks and Recreation has available as well. I would like to start off with the programs that we have at the Senior Center. We do ballroom dancing. We have Edward come out twice a month for the music program. We have oil painting, watercolor, and drawing classes. So we also have knitting, crochet, and quilting, which would be considered some art qualities to them. Some of the Parks and Recreation events and programs, they do Songs by the Brook, and they also do they have a pottery class. So if you're interested in pottery, Parks and Rec offers a pottery class. You can find more of the Parks and Recreation programs and events in their flyer that they put out biannually. So the fall and winter brochure is available right now. And we do have Tai Chi class. They were talking about balance. We do Tai Chi. We also have a chair yoga class that we offer every Tuesday. And then we have a chair aerobics class that we offer every first and third Thursday of the month. And if you have any other questions about the programs that we offer, you're welcome to stop in. We're at 702 Birchfield Street, and we look forward to seeing you there.
I thought about this and I thought how many times in my young life, and I do mean my younger life, not what you're seeing now, because I looked in the mirror this morning, there was somebody older than me in my bathroom mirror. Anybody else have that effect? It's like, where did you come from? I don't remember you being around. Years ago, when I was early to mid 30s, and I was starting to do presentations, so long before PowerPoint, it was chalk back then. Anybody remember chalk? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I would be reading the literature on arts and music and the brain research back then, and doing that. And once I became older, I had the realization that if you're not doing it, you're not doing it. It's not just things that are good for you. Have you all had that realization too? It's only too late if you're not doing it now. And I was looking around the importance of art, and quite a few artists have been practicing at different times in your life. How many folks remember being 20? Did anybody pursue the arts in your 20s? Painting, photography, yeah. And did somewhere with having kids and mortgages and things that those things became in a box somewhere, and every once in a while you would go visit it, and you would have this feeling of, I would like to go back and do that. Okay. And then you realize that the paint dried up 10 years ago. Yeah, they didn't make that color anymore, or whatever. But you still had that, I want to. And the I want to is kind of pressured into a corner because you've got to be what? Perfect. Anybody else have that dilemma in your life? You gotta wait till you become a professional to do something. Yeah, it's so therefore you either don't do it or don't do it as much or put it off and that kind of thing. Well, let me just say, get over 70, speaking from over 70, we got no time for that noise. You know, that was back, those hungry ghosts got to haunt us back in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, and that kind. We just don't have any more time for that noise. And the enjoyment of creating something doesn't ever leave us. It was there when we got our first crayons. Remember how they tasted? If you start talking about when you were doing art or you were doing something, you may get a little bashful, feel like I'm embarrassed to say because she's so much better than me. But you just get a little bit of pride. There's a little bit of something that charges that amygdala, that charges the temporal lobe. It goes, oh, I enjoyed that. I was alive. I have used music and rhythm in my work as a therapist. Well, I started in 1975, so I guess it's been that long. And I would have folks that say, oh, you use music, do you do music therapy? I said, no, I do not. But you play music and you have drums and you have this. I said, yeah, I have these instruments out. And I said, I really don't do music therapists. I know some people who have put their careers in the education of music and therapy and formalize that. But I figured out that when you're humming, when you're drumming, when you're strumming, when you're dancing, when you're boogieing, you know, I can't dance, I can boogie. We're making some kind of movement, some kind of sound, some kind of mark, some kind of color. You're as alive as you'll ever be at any one moment in your life. That is not therapy. That is absolutely the definition of being alive and being creative, because we were born as creative souls. Get that? We were born as creative souls. We did not have to be artistic. That's the difference between being soulful, just being you, not having to prove, right? The older we get, the harder it is to learn something by ourselves. It's the reason that there are recreational centers, i.e. senior centers, whatever, you know. You've never had a senior come in your center yet, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's true. It's not. But what Stacy and her colleagues across the state and nation provide is a gathering place and someone to lead. We've got folks that realize that if we're going to do something, we need to have a leader and we need to do it in group. My route with playing guitar was to first buy one and then to quit playing it was my second thing. And not because my fingers were so bad, is that I just could not put it together until I got out and played with someone else. Then it became camaraderie and learning. Once I could go, I don't have to be him. I can just play and be with folks. It's not about performance, it's about living. It's about living and being a creative soul in your own right, in your own moments. So my challenge here with going down my list of notes is that just do it. That's not a Nike phrase. Just do it. And you get to express your soul and your talent and your joy in religious organizations or choral organizations. if it's even the art of Tai Chi, the art of movement, you know, or if, you know, I just get so stuck up in marriages and things like that that nobody slow dances anymore. Yeah. It's just, when's the last time you just slow danced and moved with another person?